Hello there, and welcome to Waking God's Child YouTube channel. I'm here with my co-host Candy Nelson, and we are praying and hoping that all of you had a happy Thanksgiving, for what it's worth, and those of you who celebrated, or at least were thankful yesterday, right? Candy, how was your Thanksgiving? Was it good?
It was great. Yep. Went to my oldest daughter's. And I got to tell you this. I got to share this with you because I was like, I think it was Wednesday. She called me, and we're talking on the phone, and she's like, "Mom," she said, "I just want to tell you." She's like, "You're like my best friend."
Oh
And
my gosh, your
she
your
said,
daughter said that?
yeah, she's like, "How weird is that your crazy ass mama is your best friend?"
That's so awesome, though. I mean, I would give my left arm and right arm and probably both my feet if my daughters would say that to
She's
me
like,
again.
You're my
I used to
only
be.
friend. She said, "You're my only friend."
Aw, that's sweet.
Yeah.
That's so sweet. And Candy, you deserve that so much. One day my kids might say it again. Well, they went from like, mommy, give me a kiss, give me a hug, wanting to sleep with me every night to like, no, got no time, too busy for
I,
you.
you know
So
what I said? I told her, I said, it took you over 40 years to figure that out.
dang. Well, okay, so my oldest is 30, so yeah, maybe I have another 10 years before she'll figure it out, right? Or they won't. But yeah, I love that she recognizes that and that she can say that out loud into the world because that's a beautiful thing to share. For sure. So I'm trying to see if we have anyone here with us right now. Not yet seeing. Maybe I've got what, 3 people, 4 people. Um, do you see on your end too as well? Does that show you on your end? I'm just curious how the platform works on your end.
No,
I didn't see an option there,
no,
but so
I
my
don't.
my end shows.
Yeah.
Well, we got 5 watching. And if you guys are out there, please feel free to throw in a comment. That would be good. If you hear us, if the audio is good, if my face freezes up
Can
in
you
an
hear me
ugly
now?
distorted
Can
way,
you hear
don't
me
say a
now?
thing.
Can
What's
you hear me
that?
now? Remember when we
Yeah,
used to
should
have
I
to
do
do that?
that
Can
or
you hear
no?
me? Remember when we used to have to do that on the other podcast? It kept
Yeah,
like
we use the
muting us
Restream
out.
platform and all the time issues. It's all the time issues anyway,
Okay,
but
where you go?
yeah, I'll be like, yeah, I am crazy. You're right. You're dang straight, Gina. I'm just kidding. Well, no, maybe. I mean, I've been called
I'm
that.
going, Lisa.
And I'm just like, natty boo boo to you too. Yeah, no, that's the blonde in me. Um, anyways, back on the rest, we got hot batata cheeks here. Gonna say it in my little accent, which is not really one at all. But how are you doing tonight, hottie? We got hottie in the house. How are you? Did you have a good Thanksgiving? I hope and pray. And I don't know. Pretty sure it's actually a pagan day also, right? But I'm still thankful and blessed either way. Either way, so good deal. Thumbs up to you too. I'm so glad to see you. We always got like these special people that I just love hearing and seeing, and this one's always uplifting. I just want you to know that, Hottie. You are just amazing and just absolutely adore you.
No,
Wish I
go.
could
I'm
like put a
doing
face with a name, honestly. Well, a name and a name with a face, other than Hottie. So,
Micah's
um,
like, I want to do the podcast with y'all. I'm like, go away.
who who said that?
Rocket, Rocket.
Get him. Let him do the podcast. I love it. I'd love to see a dog do the podcast with you. That would be awesome. I
I
love
told you about
interviewing
my
dogs.
granddaughter. She's like, oh, Mimo, you're a YouTuber?
I love it. I love it. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, your grandkids are old enough to understand YouTube, and yep, you're great. Your grandma's YouTubing it, guys. She is. If you're watching, that's a true story, and your grandma's amazing. Just want you to know, my grandma and your grandma are sitting by the fire. So my grandma said, "Your grandma gonna light your stuff on fire." Yeah, I can't really sing that song, can I? It's okay though.
Yeah.
So we'll just save that song for another rainy day. Actually, it hasn't been very rainy here, but we've had a lot of beautiful trails going up, along in our sky, just lining it perfectly. Starts early in the morning. They make the trips round and around and around until we've got like this beautiful lace-looking sky. I love it. Said nobody ever. I mean, I'm just saying. But with that said, I guess we'll take that with a grain of salt, knowing exactly, what is actually going on. Give another thumbs up to you too, Hottie. Just love it. So Candy, I am going to go ahead and still put the comments up as we go. For those of you that, if you get skipped over with your comment, I'm sorry. This is a different platform, so it's only allowing literally like me to click on one comment at a time. And maybe that's why my eyes dart around. I just had an ADHD moment. So someone made the comment about like, what's the matter with that blonde chick's eyes? I'm like, well, number one, I'm possessed. Just kidding. But maybe I'm trying to read the comments, talk to Candy, sort through my thoughts, try to figure out how to share a screen and see if I hadn't got kicked out yet, or make sure that my face isn't contorted and stuck in just one move that's really ugly, which you guys have seen plenty of, and you're welcome. You are welcome. So that is a true story. Candy and I were talking about that earlier. I'm like, there's me stuck in like, just some ugly constipated look or something. Yeah, I said that. I said constipated.
Or she's got her glasses on and the lights kind of like make them googly eyed. One's up, one's down.
That's why I can't stand putting my glasses on when I do podcasts, because makes your eyes look huge too. But yeah, Actually, I don't mind doing that on purpose though. So let's see.
It looked funny when I was watching you earlier. Put them on. Show them what we're talking about.
Well, how big do they look right now?
No, it's okay right now. There we go.
Jeez. I just wanted you guys to see the brighter side of me. So yeah, those are some big eyes that you have, Lisa. Yep, they are. Sorry, guys. You'll have to excuse me. I'm getting a little bit of a cold.
As long as you don't get big teeth to go with it, Grandma, and a big nose, and hairy ears.
Grandma, I'm still choking over that one.
Little Red Riding Hood, you could be a wolf.
My, what big teeth you have. My, what no teeth you have. Yeah, the way this is going, I'm going to be like 2 hip replacements, a couple of sets of dentures one day. Who knows? Probably won't be long. Some bigger, thicker, googly eyes, and who knows what else. Some big set of Depends. Maybe I should buy like a trunk full, because those might come in handy one day. Or, well, honestly, with this figure I have, being built like a 12-year-old boy, I could probably wear Pampers and get away with it. I'm just saying, just putting it out there. Guys, don't hate me because you hate me, because you can't wear Pampers or big girl pull-ups. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. So yeah, we started this show out with a lot of crap talking, didn't we? I'm actually dragging my feet a little, because making sure that we have, whoever's going to be here before we get right on into it, which is the title of tonight, Supernatural Things, which is something that we are all more than likely, if you're watching this channel and you're watching this podcast, more than likely you're experiencing some supernatural going-ons that you cannot explain to some respect, right? Or maybe you can, and if you can, please let us know, fill me in, because we're always searching for the answers. But with that said, Candy, we've talked about like synchronicity last week, correct? And supernatural goings on. And a little bit ago, you shared with me some things that we both related to, but you want to share with the audience with your, was it not the heads or tails, but you called it
odd and even.
Odd and even. There you go. Yeah. Which we both have done, but go ahead and tell them a little bit about that, because I find this really fascinating that there's many of us that can do this, especially on a roulette wheel, but for somebody else. So but go ahead and share that if you wouldn't mind.
Kind of not so much anymore for me, but when I was a kid and when I needed it, yeah, it happened. And I don't know, like I said today, like in this time, it's more like if I need something or somebody mentioned something to me, and we talked about this last week, it's like next thing you know, it's right in front of my face. And so Lisa was telling me a week or so ago that she needed some of those little plastic coin tubes so that she could roll up her change and a sorter. And I'm like, I went to one thrift store in the last 2 weeks. I walked in there the other day to get my daughter some beautiful vases. And because they have them really like 75-cent vases. And what do you know, lo and behold, sitting on the shelf in this plastic baggie was the little round circle things with the different size coin things and the tubes for rolling coins. The whole kit, $1.50. I was like, So I'm like,
Man.
there it was. So I messaged Lisa. I was like, look what I found you.
That's so funny though. That
Yeah,
that
'cause
that
we were
was
just thinking
just one
about
of
it.
many times though.
Yeah, and then what I was telling her about the odd and even, when I was a kid, we were so poor. I mean, and it was like I said, they were fighting over beer and cigarettes. It was a bad situation, and it was just bad. So, I would
Yeah.
go out when a kid and collect pop bottles, and you know, I'd spend a little bit, cash them in every Sunday, collect them on Saturday, cash them in on Sunday, spend some at the store, get me some stuff. I have a little bit of change left, and had me a couple nickels for the week, and go to school. And we used to play what was called odds and evens, and each person puts a coin in their hand, and they shake it, and then you get to call whether it's going to be odd when you both pull your hand away, or if it's going to be even. Well, if you were right when you called it, if you said even and they were both heads or both tails, then you got that nickel. And
Yep.
so, and if
You
it
were
was
rich.
if it was not if it was not the correct answer and you got it wrong, then the other person got your nickel. So anyway, lo and behold, it just seemed like I only would leave for school, I'd have like a nickel or two in my pocket and come home with so much nickels in my pocket I could barely walk, because it was like 99% of the time I was always right. And I was telling Lisa, the kids used to get so mad at me. They'd be like, "You're cheating." No, how can you cheat? You
I got
can't
that
cheat.
too.
It is what it is. But, and then they would be so angry and so mad. I'm like, okay, well, you call it. And I would actually think in my head, okay, they're going to call even. They're going to call even. And so I would think the coins to be opposite. And sure enough, even when they called it, I got the nickel. So it's like, and a lot of times I was telling her, because they would get so angry, because like I said, 99% of the time it was my nickel. I would intentionally call out what I knew it wasn't going to be. For some reason, it's just like I always knew with these nickels. I don't gamble anymore, but back then I was a kid. I was desperate. But I would
Yeah,
have to
I
force
remember those
myself
days.
to not get the right answer so that they could win a few times, or else they got bored and they didn't want to play with me anymore.
Yeah, I mean, and she's not lying. That is for dang sure.
So yeah, that was my childhood. Pocket full of nickels all the time. And then lo and behold, if somebody wanted to play with dimes or quarters, it's like,
Right.
hey, we're in the big house now.
So that we were talking about that earlier, and that's what I was laughing at, because I used to do the same thing. We called it heads or tails, but I could call it almost every time. But years ago, when I was still married to my husband, or ex-husband, ex-husband, went on a cruise ship. I was telling you about earlier, but I'll tell them. And I was able to. They would say, "Hey, what color?" They want to play roulette gambling on the cruise ship, and they'd ask me what color, red or black, and I mean, I would call it every flipping time, exactly what it was every time, just dead on. To do it for myself was a whole different ball game for me, which is very odd. But I mean, it was just that though. It was just the gambling situation. So almost any other thing. Well, I say almost any other thing. Not even sure why or how it happens. It just happens. And that goes back to the supernatural side of things, which is definitely something that many of us are experiencing. And I don't care if it's just the stuff in the sky that you're seeing. I don't care if it's the shadow man at the end of your bed, or hat man. A lot of people experience the very dark shadow, as I call hat
Yeah.
man, or just the shadow man, whether he has a hat or not. But I just know, growing up, I had a foster sister. We fostered her, and she was in her teenage years then. I must have been about 9. And she slept in, my room with me. And I'll never forget, she would wake me up out of a dead sleep. She would just tap on me, like, "Lisa, do you see that? Do you see that?" And I would like groggily wake up, and I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about." And she's like, "There's the hat man. He's at the end of the bed." She's like, "The dark shadow." And I would look, and I did not see it. I could not physically see it, but I believed her with all of my heart. And what happened was, later on in life, I started seeing or meeting other people that had, excuse me, also experienced the same
I
thing.
did. I did.
Right. So, and that's right. So you're one of them. But I mean, I'm talking like just one after the other, people giving their stories. Now, mind you, I never told them the story of my foster sister. I mean, and Candy just said it one day. I'm just like, it's resonating. And I knew my foster sister was not lying. She is also dead right now. She died early in life, sadly. She had a hard life growing up, but she experienced supernatural things, what they called, maybe ghostly activity or spiritual activity in their homes as children. I guess an entity pushed her sister down the stairs and she landed on scissors and she lost I believe it was her right eye. So she had a fake eye growing up. Her sister had a fake eye growing up. But she told keep in mind, I'm 9, but like she wasn't raised to know what you can and can't say around children. And it was fine because, well, for whatever reason, I was born to hear this stuff and definitely capable of dealing with it, where I myself had never experienced anything like that. Candy was young with hers, and many of you out there, I know, were young. And again, I don't care if it was just the abduction or you find yourself floating above your body or, you find yourself waking up and these entities working on you and going to town trying to, hurt you in many ways. You're laying there and you can't do anything. There's so much of this going on. I was older before I had my first experience with really anything like that on that level. And still to this day, I've never seen Hat Man or the Mothman. Oh, the Mothman, I do believe I have that on a video. I'm pretty sure I experienced that one night. But people see Bigfoot, the Sasquatch, or whatever. But nobody ever gets a clear picture. And it's for good reason.
I was
Sorry?
told that mine was called sleep paralysis. So I looked it up.
That's the name for that as well. Yeah, but I mean that has no. They like to call it like sleep paralysis where you can't move, right? But you're seeing things, physically seeing these entities. And I would like to know what they would like to call that. I mean, yes, you're paralyzed, but there's a coordination here of something very, very supernatural and spiritual to some level, I think. But I mean, are these custom made awakenings? Is it a frequency that makes certain people experience this? Because again, it's not the first time I've heard this. It's constant. It's all the time that people on a daily basis experience this, or that man that everyone dreamed about years ago. And I don't know if you all remember this, but probably you do. There was a vision. Everyone was dreaming about this man, his face, always dreaming the same dream, the same face. And they made a sketch of him. Actually, I think what's his name? John Travolta, is it? I believe, or Nicolas Cage is getting ready. No, I think it's Nicolas Cage getting ready to play that part on a new movie. Actually, it's kind of a documentary, but it's not real, but of that man that everyone dreamed about, which really happened. And there were people all over the world dreaming about this man. And you can't make this stuff up. There are no coincidences in that. So is it MK Ultra? Is it nanotech in our bodies where, there's satellites above and they're, beaming us down, Scotty, instead of up? I mean, there's all sorts of questions to be asked. Hi, Connie. Connie's here with us.
And Sharon.
Glad to see you. And Sharon, my love. I love you. I really miss you. I wish we got to talk more. I miss our talks and I'm so sorry I've been bad about it.
Are you feeling better, Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon, are you? Please tell us if you're feeling better. I know so many of you have been sick. We've all kind of been dealing with so much crap lately. My nephew and his wife have COVID. It's just been one thing after the other. So anyways, with that said, I just, back to that though, it is strange. And it, again, I'm going to go back to that, we have this technology in us, and transhumanism is, in my most humble opinion, happening. I mean, without doubt. And I'm starting to realize so many lies, that's going on. But I mean, are these LED lights? Are they also, we're being surveillanced by them? What about the towers? Are they emitting these frequent. I mean, I could answer that. I could say absolutely 100%, but I'm going to let you guys tell me your opinion. What do you feel like that's going on? I know I have friends that can't even go out of their house without being completely harassed and affected by all of the emissions and, well, all of the frequencies coming off the towers. I mean, they're constantly targeted individuals are everywhere all day long. And I'm fairly certain every one of you are also in that targeted way, or you probably wouldn't be here. So, but it's just, I mean, what's your stories? I mean, we need to know. We're trying to figure these things out.
Yeah, and if y'all want to check out something interesting on Netflix, there's a series called Afflicted, where different people have these different issues. Like one girl moves to the desert to get away from all the technology. Um, one guy has the
Oh, sorry, guys.
different medical issues that are unexplainable, and
There we
so
go.
that
No.
they know that they're being targeted. It's called Afflicted, but each one of the people that, like I said, it's like a series, but several people have different issues going on that they try to address. One lady moved to the town, I can't remember what city and state it's in, where it's technology is banned. You're not allowed to have cell phones there. You're not allowed to have Wi-Fi. But so she moved there to get away from all the frequencies and everything, and in order to be able to heal.
Right.
The town actually has payphones. They don't have cell phones. You're not allowed to use cell phones in that town. I forget where it's at, but it's something having to do with some kind of, oh my God, I'll have to look it up and put it in the comments later. But if Lori
Sharon, I'm
was on
glad
here,
you're
she would
feeling
know.
better, by the way. Sorry,
Yeah.
Candy. Sharon says she
And-
is feeling so much better.
Yeah.
Oh, do you see that comment there, Candy?
Yeah, I have a tall, dark, tall figure I saw with a top hat on my last house. Lots of other supernatural happened there too, like
That's that
loud
top
banging
hat.
on the
That's
walls
Hat
and
Man.
everything
Yeah.
in the house. Yeah, that's the guy I saw. And then here in our house, when we first moved here, I don't know if you ever remember me telling you this, but my husband would be at work, the kids were at school. I'm home alone by myself, sitting in the living room, and all of a sudden I could hear like little kids playing in my kids' room, and I could hear like toys and stuff being played with in the room, and there's nobody in the house but me. And
Yeah.
I'd go back
Yeah.
there,
No,
"What?"
that happens to me actually almost daily in this house.
Wow, and it's crazy. And even my husband said, which he's never been one for supernatural stuff, but he said when we first moved here, like he'd be asleep in the bed and he
Hmm.
could feel like in the night when he was sleeping like a child, like walking on the bed to come up and climb in between us.
I've heard
And he
other
said,
people say the same
yeah,
and that same story. It's so
yeah,
strange. There's so many similar stories, especially the Hat Man one is literally
and
like
like I said,
something
George don't
big that
even
happens.
he don't even acknowledge all this stuff, but he did on that one. He was like, no. He's
Yeah.
like, I felt a child walking in our bed while we're laying there sleeping.
Yeah,
He
I
said, I
think
had to get
people
up and
don't
turn the
want
light
to
on.
acknowledge that. I don't blame them. And Connie just got here and shared her feelings as well, saying, I'm having things enter inside my home 24/7. I'm being watched at all times. Most of the time, I can't see them, but I hear them follow me everywhere. I go through my home. So I know that sounds strange. No, Connie, it doesn't. There's
Yeah,
I
that's what
myself
we're telling
experienced
you.
that, or on my roof, I can hear them on my roof, and we've
Yeah,
talked about this
I
very
heard
real.
kids, little kids laughing in my children's bedroom back there, and the toys and stuff
Giggling,
being moved around while they
yeah,
were in school. So no, it's not strange.
it doesn't sound strange at all. In fact, I mean, probably to anyone on this channel or any of the subscribers here, I think we're all experiencing something. I mean, maybe not all exact, but I mean, you guys saw my own video of that entity walking straight through the brick wall. um, I mean, that was my very first experience with what I cannot explain to any level, because it was right after the strike of lightning and a cloud, only one cloud directly above my parents' home. and no other clouds in the sky. And then all of a sudden the cloud lights up, like, lightning inside the cloud, electricity, obviously. And then one strike, and down in that beam of lightning comes this light being, is the only way to explain that. Literally, that lightning strike, this thing walks straight through the brick wall and out through a refrigerator on the back porch, and then carries on out into the back 72-acre field and disappears into the night. But all lit up in just bright white light. And what made me feel a little better, like I wasn't crazy, was that I started seeing other people, and actually they had videos and pictures as well of the same exact being. So these things are really happening. Why? I don't know. I know Satan comes to us like an angel of light, but I also know that we probably are purposely being confused. It could be one big theatrical play, but I'm sorry, back in the early 80s when I was very, very young and my foster sister lived with us, or Candy growing up, they're seeing these things like the Hat Man and Sharon described, and these dark entities at the foot of their bed. I mean, I've got friends that have levitated out of their body and looked down and looked, straight down and saw their own beings there. And I know like lots of you can relate to that. That doesn't, you can't just do something to the brain to make that happen. You know what I mean? Like there's something bigger going on, which to me, it goes back to the spiritual consciousness, whatever, or the realms that some people cannot see into, but for whatever reason, some of us can, or have interactions with, which we of course don't choose those. But I mean, I think they're testing our soul to some respect. I don't know. But what are your thoughts on that, Candy? I mean, do you think they're, it's like a test, or what? I mean, what do you think is going on?
Sometimes I wonder too, like if there's like a time and a place and a season for everything under the sun. So like the abilities I had when I was younger, I no longer have, but I have new ones that I didn't have then. So it's like, I'm wondering if maybe if we had them all at one time, then that would not be a good thing, that it might be like overload, like a
short circuit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah, because I've actually levitated. I've moved things with my mind. I've been able to read minds. I've been able to implant thoughts, and then now it's like I don't try to do those things, but sometimes it happens occasionally. I'll be thinking about something and it's like, oh, this person's going to say this or this person's going to do that. And they do it.
See, that's something. And I know Connie relates, and Sharon, you probably do too. Hottie, I don't know if you do, but I would love to hear more about your story when you want to share that. But I mean, something to me that happens all the time, I could sit there and tell you, or some people, pretty much everything about their childhood, their life, or even what's going on in the present. I mean, for instance, one of our viewers, going as James, I've been able to tell stuff about him or his life. Same thing, happened with Candy. There's certain people that I can just, I don't know why. I don't even try. So, don't blame me. And there's nothing special about me. But I think, most of you here understand what I'm saying. Like, you find yourself with these abilities and you don't know where they come from or why, because it's not just everybody that you can see these things with. I mean, I think some people are walking around soulless, honestly, because it seems like those are the ones that already that my face is froze up there with an ugly one though. But it seems like those are the ones that I can't read because I've already had a premonition, like they're just soulless, like they're just walking around going through the motions, but the lights are on, nobody's home kind of thing going on. It's such a hard thing to explain, but I have to wonder if there are soulless people here walking around. Are they just pods or clones, or there's just so many questions to all of this on many levels. But I do have something I'm going to be sharing with you all later here towards the end, and I finally figured out how to share it. The lights in our skies. Well, I mean, I captured something. Well, I've captured this before, but I captured this pretty clearly last night. There's no doubt that those planets up there that they say are planets are most certainly not what they have described them as or put photoshopped images of, I assure you. And I will prove that and show that at the end of this. So definitely stay tuned for that because it is mind blowing. And I tried and tried and tried all day long to download those videos. I was going to make an actual compilation video, which for whatever reason, all those good ones, it wouldn't let me. But what I can do is just share the direct from my Sony 4K Handycam directly. I can share it right here, right now, live. So you're welcome, Satan. Eat that. Have that one for lunch. Why don't you? We got some more coming your way. That's all I can say. But we got also Jaden here or Jade. Let's see. Sorry, let me get this right because it's delayed on my end again. I just saw the first part, and now when I click on it, it's got to go up soon or in a second, but it's still not there on my end. So it's not showing yet. Still, there it is. Okay, so Jaden 0905. I'm assuming September the 5th is a birthday. Well, I would have to disagree now, but because there is something special about you. I don't know if you're talking about me or not, but thank you for that. I lick windows, by the way. I lick windows and I wear my helmet when I do it. You're welcome. I'm totally kidding. Not kind of, sort of, not really. So thank you for joining us. This is an individual that I had the pleasure of speaking with today on the phone, Candy. So very, very wonderful, kind soul who is experiencing. And Connie, just want you to know, this individual right here, you could relate to as well. But all of you here could relate to this individual. I'm just going to leave it there. But I mean, we're all on the same page. We're all fighting this. We're all fighting the same fight. We're all fighting the good fight. And we've all been tried and tested and brought to our knees. And we are all refusing to lay down and take it. We're all getting back up, dusting off the dirt, wiping away the tears and standing back up each and every time. And we're here for the fight. We're here for the fight. We were born for it. And we're not just in it. We're in it to win it because, well, it's already been won. Plain and simple. So with that said, Candy, would you like to add anything to that supernatural side as far as your other experiences? Because I know a lot of people want to always talk about these things, but you can't just bring it up to everyone. Like people look at you like you're crazy. They look at you like you don't belong or like you do belong maybe in a nut house. And trust me, I've been taken there for no good reason, just for speaking truth. And this is a safe place. And I want this to always feel like a safe place for each and every single one of you. And I adore you guys for being so brave and strong enough in sharing your testimonies. But I know Candy shared with me, but maybe there's more you'd like to share with the audience here.
Well, I can share my September 11th, 2001 one. That one was the big one. But yeah, that was when I begged God to take the abilities away after that one, because that one really did me in. And I was telling Lisa, like months before September 11th, 2001, every day I just had these visions of these two black holes in the sky. I could hear people screaming and crying. I could see like alleys with rocks, and it was a tunnels like at the end, and there's like a doorway, but there was no door on it. It was just pitch dark in there, and I could hear people screaming and crying, and I'm standing there outside the door thinking, what am I supposed to do? Do they need help? Am I supposed to go in and help them? And these were not dreams. These were visions I had in broad daylight, day after day after day. And I had no idea what it was all about. I just knew that a lot of people were going to die, and there was going to be a lot of rocks involved and passageways, and I just didn't know. And I knew that there was two black holes in the sky. I knew it was something coming from the sky. I just had no idea how to put it all together. And so that went on every day, all day long for months. And so finally, September 11th, when it happened, my boss that I worked for at the time had heard about it. He ran home, got the TV, brought it back, put the TV on. We're sitting there watching this. And it was such a shock moment that just freaking out, the first day. And so then the second day, it dawned on me that those visions that I had every day for months prior to was that.
Right.
And then I got so angry, and I was so mad at God. I'm like, why? Why? What is this? Was this supposed to be sent from something that was positive, or was it sent from something negative? Why? Why? I
Yeah.
knew no one in any of those planes. I knew no one in the towers. I
Yeah.
just did not get it. I could not wrap my mind
You
around
know what, Candy,
why.
though? My ex-husband was in the Pentagon that day. Maybe there's a connection, a much stronger connection going on here, back to synchronicity, right? Than what
Yeah.
we, and I'm just throwing this out there, that than what most of us even understand. Like so much strong, like that. I mean, I told you I ran into you. I know I did in Florida when I used to ride motorcycles and had my bike at a booth that you were. It was off the main, beaten track at Daytona Bike Week or Biketoberfest to be exact. But I saw you there. I remember that distinctly.
Mm.
You have these visions of September 911. I got to kind of code things because we have this alcohol rhythm thing and, all of this censor what the crap ship going on all the time that, loves to kick me off for any chance they get. And I'd be like, take this algorithm. Yeah, that's just like, that's a goal, which I already punted the football and took that goal.
But
So you're welcome.
but again,
Algorithm.
it blew my mind because I was like, what was I supposed to do with that before, during, or after? Why? Why me? The hell?
It
What's wrong
makes
with
you,
you,
it
God?
does it.
I'm like, I was
Yeah.
so mad at God. I'm like, no, you can't do this to me anymore. We've got to be done with this. You can't do
It's
this to
very
me anymore.
confusing when that kind of stuff happens. And that's something that's a huge event. And again, I will never forget that day, that time, my three small children at home and looking up at the TV screen at my place of employment at the time and watching the towers and the Pentagon and everything on fire and flames. And it stopped everyone dead in their tracks. And we all know that there is more to that 911 story. It was an emergency, all right. But I mean, we all know, anyone that believes in the conspiring type of people know that there was something much bigger that made this all come together and happen. And I stand by my beliefs. I know what I believe. I also know what was beneath those towers, planted there purposely, well beforehand, years beforehand. And that's a whole nother day for a whole nother podcast. If I can even get away with saying or stay alive by saying what I believe I know and I believe is truth. But just kind of just use your mind with what I'm going with here because I can't actually go out there and say anything. But there was something old and ancient underneath those buildings on top of, I think everything has been kind of planned. At a certain point in life, we had a restart. We had, let's rewrite history. Let's say we are the inheritors of these really, really ancient buildings, but we'll just tell them we built them, even though it's clearly we're on horse and donkey, or hammers and chisels, and they're to perfection. But yeah, we were just that good in the 1800s. And I'm just going to point that in particular reset out for good reason, and that's just the most recent reset, I believe myself, and it's just my humble opinion, going by what my study and research has, got out of that, and it's provided me with that. In the 1800s, we had a reset. People were being shipped over. There were orphan trains. Orphans had to repopulate this whole area, in my most humble opinion. That's why there were orphan trains. You can't tell me that many freaking adults that had children just suddenly died or starvation or just couldn't handle it or just like, oh, here, take it. Don't have enough money. I'm sorry, I'm a mother, and I don't care if I didn't have a dime to my name. I don't give a crap if someone threatened my life. You ain't taking my babies. So you can't tell me that those mothers were like willing, like all those babies, thinking, oh, it's for the greater good. They're going to go to great parents that's going to love them back in that day. I think not. Those orphan trains came from incubator babies, which were going on at our world fairs. Look it up. It's in your history. It's not a conspiracy. It's not a theory. It's fact, Jack. they repopulated this area. Those buildings that are so ancient, beautiful, and pristine, and every time you go into a new city, you're going to always have a downtown square. I don't care where you go, there's always a downtown square that are identical to every other square all through the continental US. And trust me, I know, because I have been all through the continental US. And so many other places overseas. You go to ancient Greece, which I have, you will see the building structure. You go to Rome, you'll see the building structure. You'll go back here, you're going to see that in the capital, every capital to be exact, every capital around this whole US of a-holes. Sorry, yeah, I said that out loud. I kind of meant it too, though. I mean, I can't really take that back. It's already out. It just departed the white picket fence right here. So, but what I'm getting at is the architectural designs of those buildings all through this whole area. They were already here. They were here. They've been here for many, many years. We were the inheritors, which is why your signs will say right in front of those ancient sites, founded in 1869 by Father Wilson McClanahan, or just whatever it says. Founded means what? It was found. It doesn't mean like we built this. It didn't say designed and structured and built in it or constructed in. It says founded. Your founding fathers. What does this mean? I can tell you what it means. It means, well, they found this and they created havoc. And yes, they did. They totally did kick out all sorts of Native Americans, which in my humble opinion are also your Peruvians, your Mayans, when everything, those continents were connected, they got disconnected. It's very plain and simple. But those structures came from a technology that we do not and cannot still replicate to this day. And I'll stand by what I say right there. And again, it's me talking out loud, but if you look into it, people talk about mud floods. Half these buildings are buried under so much mud, and you can dig out, and you can see even in the 1800 photos, they're digging these cities out. They're not constructing them. They're digging them out of the mud. There were catastrophes after catastrophes after catastrophes all over this world in every direction you look that hides the truth, that hides the actual truth. Your history, your world history, your U.S. history, I'm sorry, and again, in my opinion, a complete fabrication and lie. And hello, Gator Sky. I'm a poet and didn't know it. We have Gator Sky here with us, and he is a fellow New Mexican. I'm from New Mexico. He's living still in New Mexico. I love this guy to death. He's also suffering with some really hard times because that's what they do to us. That's what they do to us. They target us. But I'll tell you what, you're a blessing, Gator. I just want you to know that. You're such a blessing in every which way here to me and so many others. You guys go subscribe to his channel if you haven't yet. Go subscribe to Connie's if you hadn't yet. Go subscribe to Jaden's channel. I'm sorry, 0905. And so many others. Like, you guys know, always look at the comments. Anyone that's here commenting, I'm telling you, it's worth subscribing to. Not only that, we're here to support each other. And even if we're not doing it in a way that you think is worthy, I mean, I know I'm totally imperfect in every single way. I don't always do things or present things correctly. I'm flawed. I'm so flawed, it's not even funny. I have messed up so many times and still mess up to this day. But by golly, we're trying. We're trying. And Gator, please just know how much I love you and adore you. All of you guys, for that matter. And Sam Walker's here. Sam, same to you. And also Sam and Jaden 0905. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. You two would totally get this together as well. Connie, Sheila, who's not here. But you guys are all kind of experiencing the same things. I would like to say that. And if anything at all, I'd love to get you guys all together so that you could speak and collaborate and compare and just feel the love and support, because it's important. It's so important. And Gator too, of course, but yeah, he's my homie. Definitely that. I'll tell you what, he's a rock fiend like me, a rock hounder. And that's a whole nother podcast, what rocks actually are and what they can do. So Candy, I'm going to let you add to that, whatever you want. In the meantime, I'm going to try to pull up that screen share, because I promised all of you all what I experienced last night walking out, where it's supposedly the moon and Jupiter, right? The brightest light in the sky next to the moon would be Jupiter at this day and time. And I'm going to show you what I discovered, which I've done this before, but last night was a great capture. And you might be surprised that what's above you isn't actually, just because we've been told. We haven't like grown wings and flown up there ourselves. We know that there's a green screen with the landing on the moon, so you're getting ready to figure that out here shortly. But Candy, I'm going to let you take it away for a moment.
Okay, well, Sam says I have some stuff in some books. It's like, yeah, I got some books myself too, Sam.
He's got the 333 guys kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I got
I'd love to see that.
The Truth About Covert 9/1 backwards. And so I got that. That was written from Robert Kennedy. He was part of it anyway. I forget who else. And then another one I picked up is called Scanned, where it talks about being chipped and tracked. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, I bought a bunch of those in bulk. And so whenever I do send out my care packages, I try to squeeze those books in there for everybody because, it's important. We have to keep spreading the word. And even though the covert situation might be at bay right now, they pulled it off once and they can do it again. So we just have to all be prepared that have knowledge is power, and again, if we can buy these books and get them at discount prices like I do, and just send them to people when I can and give them away. I've given them to people,
which is so cool.
Says I think I paid like 50 cents a piece for them, and I bought them in bulk. I think I bought like 30 of each one. So I'm like, oh,
I mean, it's
God.
amazing how those little things happen. There are blessings and there are hardships. But I'll tell you what, those blessings certainly make up for those hardships, right?
Well, I took a hand truck into that bin store that day to get those books in a box. Like, pull the hand truck in. Oh my God, because I knew, I was like, no, these are not getting away for 50 cents a piece, brand new. Yeah.
Yeah, synchronicity again, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I think I might be able to do this, maybe. Hold on.
One of them retailed at 25 and the other one retailed at 20. I got them for 50 cents a piece.
It's so stinking cool. I love it. I mean, you talk about like, the battle going on around us and above and below. I mean, the battle's real, right? But the blessings are abundant. That's what I've noticed. I mean, so many abundant blessings everywhere. All right, guys. So again, the way I explained last night when I was outside looking at our beautiful sky, because that's what I do, I notice, as always, that, there's always a brighter, star or whatever planet in the sky, right? Well, I mean, I'm sure any of you could walk out right now. I mean, no matter what your time zone, and you're probably going to see almost a full moon, and just not far from that moon, a bright, which may look like a star to some of you, right? So with that said, what I'm getting at is that star is supposedly Jupiter. All right. So because I've learned like there's debunkers out there, they're going to do what they can anytime they can to debunk. Because I mean, Lord forbid, it's so hard to like make your mind go a little bit further than what they've shoved down your throat and your butthole, right? Well, maybe up your butthole, but yeah, I said that out loud too. That's kind of what I do. I call it like it is, and you're welcome. Don't like my potty mouth? Well, at least it's not too potty full. I mean, it's just calling it like it is. So Gator Sky also said hello, Candy. And you guys, you got to go subscribe to this channel for real. He's just amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and try to present this now, what I caught. Now, keep in mind, again, what I'm trying to show you is that bright star / Jupiter next to what we call the moon. Okay, and even the moon, I can show you so many other things at a different time, but let's just try to start with this. And I'm gonna have to put my googly eyes on here. So just a second. Entire screen. Okay, what just happened to that?
All I see is me.
Yeah, hold on. This is so not it. Okay, so I gotta pull that up again, apparently. All right, that's okay. I can do this. I'm not gonna like let this algorithm or the censorship stop me. You guys just bear with me for a moment, because this is the kind of stuff that I was telling you happens. And I tried to share last week also, but just bear with me. I'm going to make it happen. I don't care what they say or do. So, Candy, if you want to add anything right now instead of leaving dead air, or if you want to leave dead air or just burp really loud, that'd be kind of funny. I'm not going to lie, I'd probably do it if I could. But yeah, I'm a weirdo. So let's see if I can find it here, though.
Oh, so what to talk about?
I know.
Yeah, now you're getting all broken up on me. Your voice is broken up.
Told me the story of the old man that kind of kept you safe. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah,
No?
yeah, I heard you. That was kind of a long story, though. That's a deep one to get into. That was the night I
Well,
punched my
I mean, I
grandfather
guess
in
I'm
the
just going with the fact that we have guardian angels, and sometimes God
Mhm.
watching out for us,
Yeah.
I guess, is more or less. But I mean, we shared that a while back, and it's on some of our older podcasts. But I just thought it was an amazing testimony at that. And I'm just
Well, I mean,
literally filling in the
I'll
dead
try to
air right
be
now.
I can try to be brief with it, but anyway, my grandfather, perverted grandfather, tried to make a sexual advance towards me and had a gas heater behind me and him in front of me, and he was 4 times my size, and so it was do or die. So I punched him in the eye and broke his glasses, and oh
I
yeah, it
just
made
love
him
it.
mad. So anyway, his
I
glasses fell off
absolutely
and
love it.
couldn't see. I was able to run to my room. I closed the door, locked it, put a chair up underneath the door. It was in the dead of winter. I had the big jealousy windows. I rolled the window open and thought to myself, okay, well, I'm going to leave the light off. That way, if he does bust through my door, I'm going to jump out that window. And because it was like, okay, it's do or die. I was desperate. So, I mean,
Right.
freezing my butt off, cold as anything because the window's open. And he's got the heater out there, because I got the door closed. It's an old house. And it's like, man, I was scared to death. I was so afraid he was going to come through that door. Next thing you know, I hear this big boom. Well, he came over and he finally made it to my door and he punched it with his fist, left a hole in the door because it was a hollow door. And anyway, I thought, oh, dear God, if he comes through there, I'm just going to jump out the window and just pray for the best. So I lay there in the cold all night long. And sometime in the middle of the night, I woke up and there's this old man standing at the foot of my bed. It wasn't my grandfather. He had on a long white gown. He had long white hair all the way down to his knees, long beard, and he was just standing there staring at me. And I'm like, what in the world? So I'm like, I must be dreaming. I rub my eyes, I open them, look again. He's still standing there. I was like, I've got to be dreaming. I must be asleep. And I'm like, oh God, I seen him just plain as day. I was so scared. And I was like, but he just stand there. So I laid back down, tried to go back to sleep. A few minutes later, I pulled the covers off, looked again, there he's still standing there. And I thought, what in the world? So the next morning, I woke up and the light was on in my bedroom. The chair was moved away from the door. And I was still alive and thinking to myself, oh, what in the world? So I unlocked the door, walked out. My mom's sitting at the dining room table. And she said, why'd you break Pop's glasses last night? So I told her. So she didn't say anything. I sat down alongside of her. I'm drinking hot chocolate. She's drinking coffee. I said, did you come in my room last night? She looks at me, no. I said, you sure? No. And I'm like, oh, never said nothing about my grandfather or anything. And I'm like, you did not come in my room last night at all. No. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep.
So
Sure. No. Right.
the chair was
You knew.
moved.
You
The
knew
light
though.
was
You knew
on.
what happened. That
And I'm
you were
like,
being looked
okay.
after.
So that's the only thing I could
Yeah.
think of. It was like just a guardian angel that stood there at the foot of my bed and made sure nothing happened to me that night. So but
I mean, literally, I think that that's what has protected us all to that, for that matter, this whole time. Number one, I think we were chosen and born for a time such as this. But for another, I think that we have to, and I've said this a million times, and as many of you know, we have to sometimes be brought to our knees in order to get back up to stand again. and you got to be broken in order to be rebuilt. An engine's just an engine to begin with, right? A lot of people go soup their hot rods up. Well, I think sometimes we got to be that souped up hot rod, but we got to
what kind of evil does that to a child? You got a propane heater behind them.
The most horrible, evil individual that should have been castrated. Can I line up to do it? Should have been decapitated. Yeah, I said that out loud because I'm human. Should have been literally hung, and are probably deserved even so much more than just those few things.
Yeah.
Because
And
Candy,
I'm like
I'm telling you,
I was like the BITCH and the WHORE because I broke your glasses.
yeah.
I think I was like 13.
That's a sad thing right there, and there's so many of you on here right now. I know because we all have relationships in that way that have shared similar to very, very similar to almost identical stories. I think we all have something that we've experienced that's ugly, that no child especially should ever have to endure or experience. I just want you guys to know you're here for a reason. You're a survivor for a reason. You're a fighter for a reason. And Candy is a living, walking, proof of it. She's a living, walking proof of it. I have suffered very little as in comparison. I mean, I don't even want to compare. I just want to say thank you guys for the testimony.
I have to tell them the reason why I shared that story with you that night. So this is wild. So talked to Lisa on the phone one time. We just had barely knew each other. She's like, please don't think I'm crazy. She's like, I need to ask you something. It's like, I'm not going to think you're crazy. Anything, you can say anything. It doesn't matter. I just don't want you to think I'm nuts. She's like, was your mother blonde? And I'm like, no. She's like, well, did you have this blonde that just loved to wear red lipstick? I was like, my grandmother. And she's like,
I can see her plain as day too.
I had a vision about her. And she said to me, don't ever worry about Candy. She's a fighter just like me.
I remember just watching her mouth move with the words, she's a fighter just like me. She's got this. And it was, that was one of the first most bizarre experiences with the seeing things that I have no idea why I should see or know.
When Lisa told me that my grandmother came to her in a vision and told her that, I said, let me tell you the story behind that. My grandmother was tiny like me. My grandfather was probably 6'8", 280 pounds. My grandmother, when my mother and my aunt were children, young, used to grab iron frying pans and bust him in the head with it. She'd bust beer bottles over his head. She'd jump on his back. She'd fight him. And he beat her all the time. You're talking about back in the 1920s. And so when Lisa said that she said to her, don't worry about Candy. She's a fighter just like me. Guess what? That same husband of hers is the one that tried to do sexual things to me. And I punched him in the eye. Guess what? There was the fighter that my grandmother was protecting.
That's what she was talking about too. And it felt so odd though. And you guys, any of you that's experienced this, and Candy has too, it's such an odd feeling when you know things and you don't know why you know.
And it validated to me why she fought him, because she was protecting her children from him doing those things to them.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's exactly where that fight came from.
That is exactly right. I believe that wholeheartedly. I mean, all I know is our testimonies are real. They're so real on all accounts, all different, maybe some similar, maybe none alike. And it doesn't matter what I know, what I've learned, that not just one thing's impossible, not just a few things are impossible, but all things are possible. And I don't doubt anything anymore, but all things are possible through Christ our Lord who strengthens me. Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ the Lord that strengthens me. And if we know things, I believe that we just need to understand and accept that it's a gift. It wasn't me that knew this. I know it wasn't me that knew this. but somebody was delivering a message to Candy that day, and somebody also delivered a message to James that day, and somebody also delivered a message to Adrian that day, and somebody also delivered a message to Sam that day, and I
And
could go
Lisa,
on and on and on down the list, many of you.
that day. And
What's
Lisa
that?
that day. You know, well, the vision you got, think about this. With that happened with me and my grandfather, that was in the mid 1970s. And my
And I
grandmother
was like
just
3,
comes,
2, maybe. No,
yeah, and then
younger
my
than that.
grandmother just comes to Lisa like 5, 6, 7 years ago and tells her, "Don't worry about Candy. She's a
I had
fighter."
just met her. I just like she looked me up. She saw my Morgie video, and
Look at
and
that.
I was like, I am an immediate connection, like so connected that I could. I was there with her somehow. I don't know any other way to explain it. But I
Praise
couldn't have known that. I could have never. There's no way. It's not like you post pictures online anywhere. There's no way I could have ever known that. And there was. I mean, I was literally like, please don't let me know this. Like I'm not. Like no, 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 no. I'm not telling her. Nope, you're telling her. No, I'm not telling her. It was like a battle going on between myself and I guess you're. No, I'm not telling her. Yeah, no, you're telling her. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and she
no.
was so
So
shocked. And then I actually had found an email that I had sent like back in 2008 to somebody in the neighborhood about my grandmother, describing her to a T. But I sent it in 2008 when my neighbor just recently reconnected
you
with
told me
her.
that and about died when I
He's
heard
like,
it.
he's like, I have this email that you wrote a long time ago, right after your mother passed. And I read it. I was like, I gotta have this. I gotta read this to Lisa because it describes my grandmother to a T.
I had tears over that because it was surreal. It was so real and it was surreal. Do you still have that? You'll have to read
I
it
do. I
again.
have it. It's right in there. I can go get it.
Oh, you guys got to hear this. I mean, it'll give you
Uh-uh.
chills. And I mean, you guys can relate. You know, you ever experience something that you just can't explain? I
I'll
know
be
you
right back.
have. And put it in the comments, please, if you don't mind sharing. But I mean, have you ever known things or dreamed things or saw things or had visions that you couldn't explain? And keep in mind, there's scripture that says, in the last days I will pour out my spirit upon all men. Your young men will have visions. Your old men will have. Sorry, your old men will have visions. Your young men will dream dreams. And it is then that you'll see the Son of Man coming in the sky in the clouds with power and great glory. And there's so many others pertaining to that. There'll be earthquakes and famines and pestilence and see signs in the sun, the star, the sun, the moon, and the stars. I mean, it's all there in scripture. Well, guess what? These are those times when prophecy reveals itself. And I don't care if you're the two thieves that hung on the cross next to Jesus Christ that were also forgiven and made it, or if you're just ho hum little old me that's unworthy, or little old you or big old you. We're here for a reason. We're here for the season, and we're here because we were born for a time such as this. I truly believe this in all ways, and it's discernment at its finest. And Candy's got that now, so I'm going to put her up and let her read this to you all. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, this email was sent October 21st, 2009, right after my mom passed away. I sent it out to all of my neighbors that in the neighborhood. But it says, I thank each and every one of you for your thoughts, the many blessings of your presence, food, time, and prayers. I'm not saddened by her departure. It was a blessing for her to live for 74 years with so many traumas in her life. My grandmother had much trauma also. Her name was Mary. She had blonde hair, natural red lips, and the bluest eyes you've ever seen. I always
Saw
thought of
those.
my grandmother as a yellow rose, which would then make me Rosemary's granddaughter because of her blonde hair and gentle, fragile nature. The hard times and heartache they both endured their entire lives has made me who I am today. Although there were many issues with my father, I do acknowledge that I looked like him in spite of the abuse. My aunts constantly remind me that I'm the spitting image of my father, and that is okay,
Because
because
I'm
also because
Rosemary's
it is
granddaughter.
what it is. So every time I hear this song on the radio, I will always remember who I am and where I came from. Without my mother and my grandmother, I would have never had the strength to overcome so much in life. The traumas that went through were not in vain because my daughters no longer have to repeat history. I thank God each and every day for allowing me to overcome so that my children will not go through such things in life. And the very least, they will know that it is not normal. Much love to all, and I'm going to be just fine because I know exactly who I am. And I put the song Who I Am by Jessica Andrews underneath of it. But that was
Yes. I'm
my
telling you, it was so
reflection on the
touching. Like it's touching every time. But I mean, you guys, you got to know how strengthful you are, and
yeah,
she's
and
a
that
living,
that
walking,
email
breathing
that
miracle as
email was
well.
sent that email was sent long before I ever knew Lisa. That was 2009.
That's the most bizarre thing, too. I mean, a grandmother with red lipstick, and all I knew is that it would this nagging feeling or would not go. It wasn't gonna go away until it was not going away. Let's put it like that.
It was meant to
Persistence. The
be.
woman was persistent. I know she is still. So that's all I got.
Yep.
And I don't know why. There's nothing special about me. Gifts are gifts at the and the Bible does speak of spiritual gifts. I don't know if I'm just a lucky guesser. I don't know if I'm just like, wow, I'm so imaginative that I need to go in the psych ward, but there are certain things that there's no way we could know. And I know you guys relate to this, and it just happens. And then you have the world sometimes come down on you and say, well, that's evil, that's of Satan, or this or that or the other. But it was never used in a satanic way, or nor did it bring tears or mixed emotions. Um, I can't, and I don't know why. I ask myself every day, why do we go through this? And Candy, same thing. And many of you, we don't have the answers. We don't have to have the answers. But I'll tell you what, discernment, first and foremost. And it's funny, if you be still long enough and you listen, if you just be still and really listen and don't move and don't listen to the dang train that's, wow, so loud right now. But you would be amazed the discernment that's actually in your DNA, all of your DNA, it lives within you. It's there. It's been there the whole time. It's not going away. And it sure as heck beats Satan hands down. And he already knows the battle's been won. It's a battle that's been won. Yep. It's going to get rough, guys. I'm not going to lie. Hold on to your boots and grab onto your spurs. Pull your big girl britches up and go ahead and loop those around your ears while you're at it, because we're going to need that. We got some hard, bumpy times coming up. It's been taught about. So, but we got this.
Hi, Niecy.
I love that we have a new person. I have not seen Denise Nichols before, so that's awesome. And we love you too, Denise. And by the way, if you see me looking this way, I have my big screen on because I'm so blind.
She has a nickname. I got mad at her one time. I was like, Lulu La Peña.
Lulu La Peña. So, ¿yo habla inglés o yo habla español, no? Solo poquito, ¿no? Sí, bien. Bueno. So, okay, so yeah, I mean, Honduras. I lived in Honduras as well as Nuevo Mexico. So, Gator, I got you on that one too. And I know he can do it as well. But, yeah, Gator's my buddy. I just feel like anytime he's here, I feel like I'm back home, and home is New Mexico. I grew up, which is odd, about 8 miles, I think, Aztec from Bloomfield, 8 miles, something like that. So very close to him. And the funny thing is, he didn't find me because he knew I was from, it was just, once again, we're going to go to the circumstances, the synchronicities. He was just, on YouTube. He just found out that way, if I'm not mistaken, Gator, correct? He knew nothing about that I was from New Mexico. And it's just odd. It's like, that's my homie right there. So I just love the way the Lord kind of lays things out and brings people together, synchronicities like this, for good reason. And somehow we all learn from each other. Somehow we all grow from each other. And somehow we're provided with this great discernment, even if it's a little bit at a time, that means like so much. And it's so useful, and it's one thing that we're all equipped with. It is in us. It is in our DNA all day long, and it's not going anywhere. We just got to find ourselves and lose the conditioning and all of the stuff that's been shoved down our throats or beamed at us through frequencies and people, my friends, my loved ones, my sisters, my brothers in Christ. You're here, you're awake, you're aware for a reason. The frequencies aren't working on you so well anymore. Those little injectable things that they like to put in your buttocks or your Umar's, your upper, I can lift a lot of weight right there areas. That's not working anymore. Feel blessed. Be blessed because for whatever reason, you broke free of those chains that were binding us and still binds the whole world for the most part, with a very select few being awake and aware. You're breaking free of the poison. You're breaking free of the conditioning. You're breaking free of all those things that they have instilled, implanted, and literally injected into your everyday living since you were born.
Have you seen that some of these insurance companies, these insurance providers are actually offering like bonus money for these roller up the sleevers and every other kind of
pretty soon you're going to be getting like a Tony Award or, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, pretty soon you won't even need money to buy anything. And you guys, please
like
remember
$50 a pop for each roller up the sleever you get.
Yeah. Please remember that no amount of money, because money's just money at the end of the day, right? And I get it. We all got to pay our bills. We all got to survive. We got to live. We got this, that, and the other due. Even though we didn't ask for our circumstances, here we are. We find ourselves there. The thing is, you can still live, and we can still live, and there can become this amazing community of a select few or a whole bunch of few or, whatever. The sky's the limit for those that choose to separate themselves from the elitists. And keep in mind, they're just a small, very small handful of individuals, but separating yourselves from that and remembering that you have skill. We all offer different skills, right? We're all gifted in some way. I don't care. You say, no, I'm not gifted. Can you bake bread? Can you pull weeds? Can you flip in like carve wood? Do you know where water is? Do you know how to extract that? There are so many things that we could be using in trade if the time will come and does come during our time. And I firmly believe that we're there, and it will very much so come for many of us, or my children, or our grandchildren. It doesn't matter. The point is, be prepared first and foremost. Number two, make sure that you're ready, prepared. Well, the first one, honestly, make sure your soul's prepared. Okay. Secondly, be prepared. You got to remember, those people in the city or those that live in the city, they don't always know how to take care of themselves. And if you live in the city and you know how, yes, because
some
they're
mosses
not going to know how.
Some mosses are actually antibiotic. You can eat dollar weed. Okay.
She's the girl for all this, guys. There are so many ways to heal yourself, to get water. You can drink from sewage if you had to. Of course, not without major, major filtrations. And we discussed this last week. But there are so many things and little things you could be buying now for minimal cents or dollars that will assist and aid when and if those times do come. And I assure you they will. It's been written. It's not a joke. It's not like, surprise, just kidding. You're not going to live forever. Like, we've always known that we had an expiration date. None of us have ever known what that day might be, because it's going to be different for all of us, or maybe the same for all of us. But the point being is, we expire here, only here. But be prepared. Know how to make fire without a match, without a lighter. And trust me, it's so possible. So possible. Know what kind of sticks you can use. Know what kind of rocks you can use to make spark. Know that your eyeglasses, those lenses pop out. Know that if the sun, which might choose to be real that day, or maybe not, or whatever it is, if it's emitting enough light, you can use that lens to magnify on just crumbled grass and leaves. Very dry, of course. So you can make fire. You can do these things to survive. Water is definitely capable and possible of having it. But I mean, I actually put water in all of my old tea jugs or milk jugs or whatever I can. And I actually go store them way out of sight because, it's an eyesore. But these are the things that we should be preparing for. I mean, and keep your Bible on hand, because if you can, go ahead and put it on a cuneiform tablet, because that's wise. But I mean, I don't think we're getting any other chances. We've been catastrophe after catastrophe for how long? I think this is the last call here. And it's not the last call for alcohol, folks. This is the last call for your soul. So whether tomorrow's here or not here, whether next year or year after is or isn't, it doesn't really matter. Live your life to the fullest. Don't fear what's coming. The Lord didn't give you a spirit of fear. He put you here for a reason and for the season. And just know that it is in you, it lives within you, and you have it. It's all there, and you're going to be just fine. whether we come, we go, we live, we don't, we're eternal. We're eternal. Now, where we're going to be eternally, that, my friends, is ultimately up to you, not him, you. So, and I'm a work in progress, man. I am so flawed. It's not even funny. I'm so flawed. But we're all working in the same direction, and we're all trying. And he sees our challenges, and he sees our weaknesses, and he sees our strengths, and he knows that we know, and that's pretty good. He knows who his children are. He knows who his children are. And my brothers and sisters, you are his children, and you're my brothers and sisters, and I am grateful and thankful and blessed. I'm going to try to still get this to play. I know it went off. I had it up, and then it went away because I didn't want to interrupt Candy, because Candy's got the most beautiful testimony, and I asked her to tell that, which I think was way more important than what's in the sky, which, like I said, it's not about what's in the sky, really, or what's on earth, or what's at the end of your bed, or how Bigfoot, fast he runs, or how, Loch Ness Monster, forever, like, is it, incognito somehow. It's not about any of those things, because we're being distracted by those. Trust me, I'm the girl out there with the video camera. Oh, plane's flying over. Let me go. Oh, helicopter. Oh, you have no wing tail. You have no tail numbers. No call numbers there. Oh, that check flight finder here. I'm that girl. I am. But we all do it for a reason. We do it to show the world that there are things going on that their minds weren't prepared for, that they were never told about. And yep, it seems like it's just an endless hole that we just try to, keep digging everyone out of, and that nobody's listening. But I'll tell you what, if it's just one soul at a time, out of 5,000 people or 50,000 people or 5 million people, one soul is worth it. It's totally worth it. So don't stop trying. That's for dang sure. Candy, I'm going to try this one more time. And if I do happen to interrupt you this time, it's just because I don't want to lose it again. But I got to find it again because it disappeared. So I'm going to put you up once again, if you don't mind. And then maybe I can leave them with this. But, most of all, I just want to leave everyone on a good, loving note. And just the sheer fact that I love you and y'all are so worthy. And I'm blessed every day. Every day. So,
Okay.
All right, here we go. I'm going to try this while you fill in the blanks for me.
If anybody else has any divine incidences that happen over the course of their lives.
Yeah, please share.
Denise is like, my fear is remaining in isolation. Already has been 7 years. Don't know what I would do without Candy off. Well, like I said, when I first heard you were moving there, I'm like, no, she can't move away. No, we can't. I cried. I think I told you about that too, Lisa. I'm like,
I didn't really. Yes, I do remember that now. Oh my goodness.
This is not going to be good, but I don't have the heart to tell her.
So this is the Denise. Okay. Yeah. Oh my goodness. She just spoke wonderful about you.
Yeah, I was like, I told Lisa, I was like, oh, I just don't have the heart to tell her. She's so excited. But I don't see this really good. I don't want her to go, but how do I tell her? I don't want to tell her. I cried for weeks. Oh my God.
We what's funny, I guess what I'm getting at, we have been brokenhearted. We have been hurt, tossed away, discarded like worthless trash for what we feel like, right? Isn't it amazing though, how we have grown from this, how we have deeper love, more empathy, more sympathy, more understanding, and just more forgiveness than anything at all, by and just because of the way we've been treated by the world. It's crazy what strength comes from this horrid, wretched treatment. It's just so bizarre to me and so wonderful at the same time. We're warriors, man. We're so strong, and we learned how to be humble and love the really true kind of love, the unconditional love that the Bible speaks of. Above all things, the greatest of these is love. We actually learned from our brokenness. We learned what was the most beautiful moments in life and what mattered. And Lord forbid it was ever money. It's not money. It's about coming together and loving each other, leaning on each other, and having faith in our own selves. It's just crazy. I'm just always mind blown at how strengthful I get to see and meet and understand about some of this human population. I mean, there's hope after all. There's hope, so much of it. And this is still trying to pull up, so I apologize, guys. It's being slow. It doesn't want me to show you.
Well, I found out that she lived like about an hour and 45 minutes away from me. And I was like, I'll come see you. She's like, no, 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 that's okay. I was like, we can meet. I don't have to come to your house. We can meet, you know. We were going to meet downtown at the park and, you know, at the courthouse in Ocala. And I was like, I'll be there, you know. She's like, but I can't walk. I've got all this stuff going on my feet. I was like, I'll bring my scooter. And so I had a scooter. I had to take that thing apart. I put it in the car. I'm like so excited I get to meet her, you know. I go down there and wait. And she was like, she didn't show up. And I was like, after a couple of hours, I was like, damn it, I'm going home. So I start driving home. I get halfway home. She calls me. She's like, where you at? I'm here. I'm like, I already went home. So that day it didn't happen. So then we still was like, okay, well, I can come see you. I'll come to your house. And so the first time I come, she was so mortified because I'm kind of bold, you know, I'm brave. And she's like, she had never seen me before. So when I pull in her driveway, I blow the horn. I tell her I'm there, right? She thinks I'm this big old 280-pound biker woman that's going to jump out and kick her butt. I get out of the car, little tiny me. She's like, oh.
It is hard, though. You know, our trust gets so broken by doctors and like family, like normal family members that should have stood by us and loved us forever, right? It's so hard to trust and love after that. So I totally get it. It really is hard to know who to trust, right?
Yeah, and her brother lives a couple of houses. He lived a couple of houses down from her, right? So I get there one time. He's like, "Who's that?" And she's like, "It's my doctor." He's like, "Oh, your doctor makes house calls?" She's like, "Yeah."
Oh man, yeah. You know what though? I love that she cast the fears away and the doubt away, and that you all were able to, I mean, literally touch each other's lives in a good way. And it seems like that happens with so many of us. Like, it's crazy. It's just so crazy how, you know, we get these chances to actually even, you know, we're all at opposite ends of the earth, right? We're like, it's rare that you ever see like two people of the same kind in one spot. That, oh my, sorry, throwing things around because apparently the ghost got angry. But yeah, no, I don't believe in ghosts. I believe in just like entities like of that nature. But what I'm getting at is it is amazing that we're still some way, somehow, through the grace of our good Lord above, we come together, we're brought together somehow, and we meet up. We don't have to be physically next to each other, although I was so blessed that day I got to meet Miss Candy Nelson. She drove all the way from Florida and showed up one day. I was like, no way, this is not happening. First person I ever met like me, going through all of these trials and tribulations and the suffering of, you know, Morgellons disease, or whatever you want to call it, the affliction of the times, or all times, whatever it is. But it's just a small piece of a ginormous puzzle, and trust me, that puzzle is ginormous, as you can tell because of what we've covered tonight. That's pretty obvious. But okay, I'm trying this a different way. I had to resave this whole file because
I'm gonna go to the restroom
like,
when you get ready to do
I'm not
this.
gonna show them. I can't believe I had it up a second ago and it just shut it down. What's that?
I said while you're watching
sorry, I
this,
didn't hear you.
I said I'm gonna go to the restroom and then I'll watch it later afterwards.
I haven't got it up yet. I'm trying. I'm almost there. It's literally being really difficult. Let me see if I can pull it up. Nope, still not. Wow. This is just crazy.
You know,
I'm not
so
surprised
funny when
at all. I got
we started talking about going to go see my Morgellons friends in different areas and different cities and different states. My husband was freaking out. He's like, I can't believe you're going to do this. I was like, watch me.
I know. It's funny though. Like, there's the boldness that's always been in all of us. I think it just brought it out even more with, you know, having whatever it is hindering us or afflicting us or affecting us on any level. It's crazy, but he should have known he married a little warrior, from the first day.
Mhm.
Yep, my wife's a warrior. You're welcome. Okay, I think maybe I might have done this. No, I think maybe not. I just clicked the wrong video. All right, but I'm getting there, I promise. All right, here we are, maybe. Okay, so I'm going to go back, try to pull you guys. No, stop that nonsense. Hold that big check. Here we go. Now, maybe. I'm saying that over and over. I got to put these googly eyes on. All right, Windows, share entire screen. Yeah, please do, if I can at all. I'm going to try it like this, guys. Just bear with me. I'm trying so hard. It was up there. You guys saw it earlier. Let's see if I can do this. Is it showing up at all?
You see it.
You do?
All right. Yes, going to the restroom. Ooh.
Okay. I hope this is going to be big enough that you guys can see it. But this is supposedly Jupiter, guys, right next to our moon. Just hold on. I mean, I know it looks normal now, but look at the little lights. It's like there's a mechanical arm on this, which I've said a dozen million times. I think there's an infrastructure above us. And why is it showing up for you guys? I'm going to try to pause on certain points of this. But y'all, this is the brightest star in the sky. Walk out right now if you have a second. Look up, find the moon that's no longer a crescent. It's almost full. And look at the brightest star. If your skies are clear, of course. Look at the brightest star next to it and tell me what you see. Because this, my friends, this here is that Jupiter. And the reason I know this is because, well, number one, I know my constellations. But number two, just to prove it to everyone, who might, again, I'm trying to make a video on this. I'm showing you guys early. You're getting a sneak peek. But on the constellations, I pointed my phone up there and showed where it zooms in and immediately tags every constellation, every planet, every star, every moon and sun. So it immediately tuned into that bright star, which was Jupiter. So y'all, this is Jupiter. How so? I mean, that's how now, brown cow is really what I'd like to know. And look, it's not going to let you watch anymore. What do you know? Not surprised at all. So with that said, you guys are understanding what I'm saying here, surely. Things are not what they seem. Our history, our science, our whole understanding in general from this indoctrination handed down from generation to generation that has been forced upon us isn't your truth. Obviously, it's not our truth. Otherwise, why? Why would we be seeing and experiencing and going through all of these situations? I don't care if it's black goo from digging in the dirt, rock hunting. I don't care if it's fibers from Morgellons. I don't care what your supernatural circumstance is. There's a reason. It's because everything they've told us is 100% not truth. Maybe 90% possible because obviously the biblical aspect came, but just keep in mind, who got to decide what stays in the Bible, what goes from the Bible? And again, the Bible was constructed and put together by men, coming from ancient cuneiform tablets, which are the hard clay tablets where everything was written and chiseled into them, baked, so that us today, people here thousands of years later, thousands and thousands of years later, could see and know, because our God is that great and that glorious and that smart and made man too so. But what if they kept some out? Well, they did. You're welcome. They did. They kept not just some, so many. And honestly, if you go back to your Navajo, your Cherokee, your Zuni, your ancient, even Native Americans on any level, and not just the tribes, they have the similar, if not the same stories, and they're probably more accurate than our own. And I'm just putting that out there, but I mean, think about it. Everyone's singing the same song, no matter what religion or if you believe in aliens and you don't believe in God, whatever, the song is still being sung the same and the stories are being told the same, enough to let you know that something's up and it's the big guy upstairs. And people are just not seeing it in the light that it should be shown in. I mean, again, my humble opinion, but not my humble opinion that maybe there's a God. There is a God. You're a living, breathing, walking, flipping miracle. You're welcome. God created something very perfect that your heart beats, everything works together. It's like a machine. It's like the most in-tune machine. that anyone could ever imagine. And man couldn't create that. No way, no how. But your creator did. And he created you with strength and purpose and a fight in you like you've never seen. The will to survive, the will to stand up, the will to spread the good news, the will to reach out to others, the strength to get through it, and the voice to scream it from the mountaintops. So when it talks about running for the hills, there's a couple of reasons for that, I believe. Number one, well, take shelter, get away from, what's going on here. But number two, to scream it from those mountaintops. That's why we're here. We got purpose, and this was just never promised to begin with. We're lucky to be here, but we're going to get through it. We got eternity coming, so can't wait to spend it with you guys too.
And again, what I was telling you, when I didn't know what to do with that big, massive vision that I got, I went to my Sunday school teacher and I was like, what was I supposed to do with all that information? She's like, maybe you were just supposed to pray about it. So when I prayed about it, that's when I learned it's like, I'm supposed to be telling people. That was what I was supposed to do.
Exactly right. Exactly. Denise, you're talking about the halo on the moon. You're right. It's there.
Yeah, I've been doing it ever since. It's like, so rather than be embarrassed or upset or ashamed or angry, it's like, no, you're supposed to tell people.
Shout it from the mountaintops. That's exactly right. Denise, and also Gator Sky. And again, I'm going to remind you guys, go subscribe to Connie, go subscribe to Gator Sky. If you guys want good, wholesome content with people that don't claim to know it all and not claiming to know the answers, but showing you and sharing with you their testimony in artistic, creative ways, or just a brutal, honest way, or just a mellow, yellow way, these are the people you want in your life. You don't need a big YouTube channel or all these people that are like, share bread with me, break bread. Let me have some bread. I like bread. I'm hungry. I'm a single mom. I raised freaking 4 little girls all by myself with no to very little child support, maybe a couple of times. Here's the deal, Bill. We are all capable, but I'll be, gosh dang it, if I'm going to make money on a gift that came from God to begin with, and, just like, you guys give me some money and I'll tell you some more. Give me some money and I'll tell you a little more. Give me some money and I'll tell you about the symbolism. Give me some money, I'll tell you this or that. Get over it. I've never been monetized on my channel, and I won't be. Haven't been. And number one, then my content's never going to fly. So never give me ask for money. I have 2 hands, 2 feet, and I have worked my butt off, and I will have to for the rest of my life. I'll never be able to retire. I was married to the man that gets to retire, walked away with nothing but my 4 little children. The most valuable thing in the world, by the way, and no money can buy that. So in my own humble opinion, yep, I got to work. Am I going to ask you for some bread? Probably not. When I ask you if you'd like a cup of water every day, all day long, and anything you'd like to eat. So we're here for a reason. We're not here to make riches and fame. We're here to spread love and joy and to support one another. And I just pray and hope that you guys understand me when I say I appreciate you so much. I love you so much, and never, ever, ever would I take you for granted. Just you too, Candy. You guys are like everything to me. Provided more support and love than I've ever seen, nor have I deserved in my whole life. So for this, I am grateful. You have no idea. By the way, the halo that she's talking about, there it is. So this was last night's halo. Along with, this was earlier in the evening. And apparently the halo's there again tonight. But yeah, once again, last night's halo. So yeah, she's not lying. And yeah, that's not normal. And guys, your moon isn't what you think it is. There is something. There is an infrastructure, something going on above us that is not what we were brought up and taught to know, okay? I think y'all know this. I'm pretty sure you guys get that. There's something going on upstairs. I don't care if it's like the Truman Show and the Sirius lights getting ready to fall and hit us all in the heads. I think it already did some of us. We know that things are not what they seem at all on any level. And I already covered mud floods and, historical events and, rewriting history and inheritors of these buildings. And you guys have seen that I've covered the ancient biblical trees. What are your mountains, your buttes, your bluffs, your mesas? Look at them. Use your discernment. Eyes to see, ears to hear. Look at those. You can see the tree trunk. You can see where they fell. And you can see in my videos that I've shown, there's so much biblical scripture to support those biblical ancient trees that literally covered the lands with their great bountiful, limbs and abundant leaves, while the animals gave birth underneath them and fed into the rivers that flow through the earth. It's all there. Your mesas, your trees didn't shoot up from a volcanic fart, by the way. I mean, that would be cool if like the volcano could fart up, a really freaking flat top mountain, but I'm thinking not. I think your scientists are full of poop. Well, they're not. They're just conditioned. But you guys are picking up what I'm putting down. And if you're not, please do pick it up whenever I put it down, because I'm putting it there for a reason, because it's good reason. Your world is not what it seems, as you know. But your life is also in your own hands. But our soul's like, it's on the line, and they're doing some naughty things, to say the least. So I know you guys get it. I know Candy gets it all day long, and I just love it. She's got a beautiful heart, and she still makes these beautiful gifts, and she spreads her love and joy and just her amazing gifts to everyone. You guys all have amazing things to offer. I know this. But Candy, I adore you. I adore you. Plus, your grandmother probably would kick my butt if I didn't. No, I'm just kidding. But no, she was. She's pretty spunky little thing. Yeah. But I mean, I adore you guys. I'm so blessed on every level. And the Lord brings us together like this for good reason. For good reason. So full armor all day long, because we're here for the fight. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in the fight. So I'm in the fight. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving till the skinny girl sings. I got to change that up a little, because I built like a 12-year-old boy here. So some of us can't help it. I hope they make armor that fits this little girl. We got this, guys. We really do. And I'm going to go through the last few messages here. If I haven't put your message up on the screen, I am so sorry. I'm trying to click through and see with my Morgellons afflicted eyeballs that are blind, and I'm working on it. And I do have these googly eyes, but actually sometimes it presents a glare. So we have, trying to make sense of it all. Thumbs up. Thank you for being here. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being here. And just thumbs up, or just the fact that you're here. Like, we love you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support. And thank you for being you, because I know you must have a beautiful heart for even putting that there. So after that, and again, there's a delay, so I'm going to apologize, but the next comment is coming up. Joe Cummings, love him. Love. Been with us for a long time. Hello, Joe. Hello, my name is Joe. I got a cat and a dog and a family, and I work in a button factory. I know you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but I sang that song in church camp years and years ago. Sharon Johnson has the next comment. And again, a little bit of delay. You'll probably see the comment before I see it, because apparently my computer's as delayed as I am, but it's coming. Here it comes. Sharon says, same here. I will. I love her. Sharon's been so good to me too. Like, she was one of the very first people whenever I finally decided to reach out on Facebook and look to see if anyone else was experiencing any of these things. She was one of the very, very original people, and she was so loving and kind. She sent me this beautiful care package box. It couldn't have been, I know it was expensive. Let's put it that. I know, especially now, she didn't know me from Adam. But I'm going to say this again. This is what it brings out of people, and the people we actually always were, but it brings us together somehow in this unification that could only come from God. That's all I can say. And Gator Sky, he says, Thanksgiving Day afternoon, there was a huge halo that made it present known through the white overcloud cover. Yes, that's what I was just showing on the screen, Gator. That's so true. Huge halo, like, it was massive. And then right after that, there was Jupiter with like some mechanical arm holding Jupiter in place, which is the same thing I've seen in the stars with these creatures hugging them and splitting them in half. And I mean, just things that shouldn't be, guys. Not at all like they said. That's all I know. You are being honored. So he says hi too. So yeah, my daughter named him Wolfert. So don't ask me why. That's a weird name, Wolfert. Anyways, yes, there's so much. All right, and I think the last comment is, nope, there's a couple more. Oh, there's a few more. So we are going to go to this one next. Bear with me again. Sorry for the delay. I'm a little delayed. I like windows. Also wear helmets, like I said. I'm just kidding, but maybe. Gator Skies Exploration said again, so glad to be here and glad supporter waking up. I love you. I just love him. If you guys have not been to New Mexico, you got to go first and foremost. I always took it for granted growing up there, but if you haven't been there now, you got to go because it's beautiful. But then there's people like Gator still living there, and you just should go. Gator, thank you so much for the love and support, and right back at you. I adore, and this guy can play the flipping steel guitar like there is no tomorrow. Let me tell you. All right, next comment is again. Dun, 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 dun. No, I know you didn't want to hear that. Look, I'm frozen in ugly position again. Candy knows more than doctors. Thank you, Lisa. Denise Nichols. Yes. Yes, that is true. She knows more than doctors. She is a veteran with Morgellons, no doubt. Been here probably longer than most of us, and dealing with it longer. You know, we thought we had it hard. This woman has been through it and been through it and been through it and still going through it. So we know how it feels, but I mean, 20 years is something else, let me tell you. Connie says, sorry for being so quiet tonight. I am having major depression symptoms, but I'm staying in prayer about it. I've been listening to everything you all have been saying, though. Connie, we love you. My prayers will be lifting you up tonight as well. Don't be sorry. Be you. And we are all completely validated when it comes to our feelings and how we hurt and feel and how alone we feel sometimes. But I promise you this much, honey, I'm here for you. We're all here for you, and you are so loved in so many ways. And I get the kid thing you're going through. You've mentioned that a few times, and I went through like a point where I could never stop talking about mine, how much it hurt. And just this Thanksgiving, I went through it again. And I'm not even going to go there because, like you, it hurts. But you got to remember that it's okay. We're going to get through it. Our kids will either come around or they won't. But you are worthy no matter what. And although I would love to just have my kids come up and wrap their arms around me and say, Mama, you did such a good job raising us. And thank you for sacrificing everything that you did with no money and sometimes working 3 jobs just to provide and give us everything we could and never made us go without. I'd give anything to hear that. But instead, they wrapped their arms around a dad that was never there, that literally would shower them with gifts, with money, occasionally, and that was the only thing. But yet I stood steadfast, never left. And no, I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a whole hell of a lot of love. So I get you, sister. I get you more than you know. And then, to get turned in and called crazy and sent away. Yeah, I get it. Pain like I've never felt in my life, sister. I get it. Joe says, I'm not sure. It's short. I know that much, but hold on. It's coming up.
LOL. LOL.
LOL. Yeah, maybe the helmet and the licking windows, huh? Yeah,
pretty short.
And Gator Sky, I think we have a couple more. And if I don't get to all of them, guys, I'm sorry, but I know it's getting really late for Candy. She's 2 hours difference than me. And Gator says, you're so very well. No, like I can't even say thank you enough. He is just amazing. And he's battling some of this cruelty medically. And I'm going to just tell you this, Gator, you and I need to talk. I can not give you answers, but I can give you comfort and I can give you ideas if you ever so want to. And I can give you lots of prayer and all of you prayer. We deserve and need all of the prayer we can get. So
yeah, we need to share that home remedy video with him.
Absolutely. I'm not even certain what his ailments or struggles may be. All I know is that we should pray for one another and love. And I mean, if, all I can say is, Gator, you want to share with us, you can. But either way, I'd like to talk with you on the phone. Call me sometime. If anything, you and your wife, give me a call. I'd love to speak with both of you and just let you know how much I appreciate you first and foremost. But so after that, Sharon says, love you, Lisa. Thanks for sharing. You don't ever have to tell me. They know. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are all amazing. And I think I'm going to have to cut it off here, guys. I know there's a few more after this, but like a few more. But I love you guys. I am forever indebted and forever grateful and thankful that I have you in my life. And Candy, always, always, especially you. And Sheila, I wish she would one day join us again, but she just never has. I don't know why. I think it's important that we all support one another, no matter what. No matter what, we got to stick together. We're an army, and we're in the Lord's army, and it's important. These are the most important times to stick together. So either way, though, tomorrow may not be promised, but we're going to make the best out of every moment we can. So don't be disappointed or sad or depressed. Just know we're going to do it. We're going to get through it. We're going to do it, and we're going to be amazing at whatever it is we do because, well, we got, this infinite promise coming. Connie, I'm going to read this one last comment. I think that it's important. And, well, actually, there's two more. Sorry. I'm not going to cut anyone off. And Candy, if you do need to go, I understand, but I'm going to try to get through this. She said, thank you for your kind and loving response, Lisa. I just love you all to pieces. Connie, the same to you. You're putting in the work and the effort. And even if you weren't, your mind, your heart, everything, you're there. You're there no matter what. But you are an amazing individual. You're strong, strengthful. You're a warrior. And remember, you were born for this time. We don't know why. We're sitting here thinking, well, I didn't sign up for this. I know that. I know we're all thinking that. But we didn't have to ask. I mean, sometimes he just tells us this is it. This is why. And nothing was promised to be fair. I know you know that. I know that because it is not fair at all. Candy's sitting here with paint on her face right now and all over her body, and which we've all experienced, but I mean, over and over and over, and it's not fair. Nobody should have to go through this. Gator, thank you. He says, I'll contact you via email with phone number, Lisa. Thank you, Gator. And I look forward to hearing from you, and just want you to know we're here for you in all ways and every way. And I'm going to read the last one, just one more. We're done after this. And this is Denise again. And Candy, I'm going to let you read her response if it shows up to you first.
For me to do is call a friend when I am in tears and wanting to die.
Oh. Don't ever feel that way, Denise. It's easier said than done. You are loved so much. Oh, that just kills me. Denise, you're loved. Don't you ever do that. You call me, her, any of us.
Yeah, well, I can't even tell you how many times me and her just cried over the phone, or I go to her house and laid her head on my lap and did surgery on the back of her head for her with a towel on my lap. And she's like,
so hard.
I can't believe you did that for me. I'm like, somebody had to.
Exactly. I think that's where Candy and I understand each other so well, because I think we're all different. We're all built in different ways and strengthful in different ways. And I have no doubt those are things Candy and I are strengthful in. But Denise, it's very, very obvious that you have a beautiful heart and you have much love to share with people. And that's your beautiful gift. And so don't ever think about ending it, because what would we do without your gifts? We have, all of us, great purpose within each of us. And again, I'll leave it on this note. We were born for a time such as this. We knew it would get hard, and honey, it's going to get harder. Just put on those big girl and boy britches and understand that this is your time. This is what you're here for. We got this, and we got each other. We're all loving one another, and that's the best part of it. When nobody else seems like they will, you guys always do. I'm so blessed just to have your love. I'm so unworthy. Yours too, Candy. I'm so unworthy of all of you. So grateful, because when nobody else in the world would love me, you all still did. So thank you so much. So much. All right, guys. Candy, I love you so much. As always, you know that. We share a special bond. I think that's going to our grave and above later on. It's going to be something that's not going away ever. And all of you. Oh, one more. We got Rapido here. I cannot, because he's here. He's made the appearance. We've got to just one last one. It's coming up. This guy says Jimbo. Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about too. Says, I always miss these, but thanks for putting it out there. I'm just so glad you're here. And I wish that I could always just have this exact direct time. It just never works that way, but that's how Satan works. But the great thing is you did find it. And even if you don't now or then or any of you, just know that you can go to the channel. Even if it's late, it's still present because everything is still valid no matter what. And leave comments later too, because these words of encouragement for all of us are just precious, like greater than any gold or silver or money can buy. Like I hold all those comments and love and support so valued more than anything. And I know all of you probably feel that way. There's just no greater joy or reward than the love from each other. So thank you guys again. And with that, we are signing out. Candy Nelson in Florida. That is probably what, 11:30. What time is it now? I don't even know.
10:35. We've been
So
live
yeah,
for we've been alive for an hour and 50 minutes. So
because we got good stuff. We got good stuff, guys. You guys all got good stuff. We're working together, and there's going to be a time that we're going to work harder together. But we got each other. So, all right, love you, Candy. Love you guys. Thank you again for everything, and thank you for just being so strong through all of this. You guys are my heroes. Candy, you are always my hero, as you know. So.
Good night,
All
everybody.
right, much love. Good night, guys. You have a blessed evening and rest of the weekend.
Love you too, Niecy.
Love you.